Karma and the farmer's son who robbed his country's farmers. Welcome to the tragic tale of a man whose rise from humble beginnings was overshadowed by greed, arrogance, and corruption. This is the story of Kofi Donzo, the son of a former poor rural farmer named Kwesi Donzo, who migrated to a city to seek a better life for himself and his progeny, only to have a son who ultimately fell victim to his own greed. Kwesi Donzo was born to struggling farmers in a village in the rural heartlands of Songhai. Life was tough, and opportunities were scarce. Determined to change his fate, Kwesi left his village as a teenager and migrated to the capital in search of a better life. In the bustling city, Kwesi worked tirelessly, taking on different menial jobs to make ends meet. His perseverance paid off, and soon he found stable employment as a porter on a railway line. As his circumstances improved, he met and married an industrious urban woman whose family was also struggling. The young woman helped her parents support their family by selling street snacks daily. Kwesi felt a connection with her because of this, which drew them closer. Their marriage was blessed with a son they named Kofi. Kwesi's son, Kofi, was a bright student. With his father's encouragement, he studied very hard and excelled in school, eventually graduating high school with honors. Kofi went on to college, where he also did very well, graduating on schedule. Kofi was employed by the National Farmers Cooperative, an organization that was set up to cater to and protect the interests of poor farmers like his father and grandparents were. Kofi served in several positions. He started as a junior clerk. Then he was elevated to work as an inspector who visits farms and advises farmers on how to improve their yields. Then he worked at a processing plant where he studied how to manage different operations. Then he was sent to Britain to do a course on organizational management. Shortly after his return from London, he was appointed general manager of the organization. Kofi cemented his position by ingratiating himself with powerful political leaders who he would send elaborate gifts to on special occasions. This was where he started to lose his soul. Power truly corrupts, and Kofi was no exception. As the head of the cooperative, he embezzled funds meant for the farmers. With stolen money lining his pockets, Kofi became a notorious womanizer in the capital. He financed his many high-maintenance girlfriends in the capital city, fathering children with several of them. He started sending his children to elite schools and colleges in Europe and America. He indulged in a life of excess, far removed from the farmers he was supposed to be a fiduciary for. Kofi's arrogance grew with his ill-gotten wealth. He insisted on being given only crisp new currency notes, deeming himself too important to handle recycled money or any currency note that touches the ground or floor. When a currency note drops from Kofi's pocket, he refuses to pick it up. This extravagant demand and arrogant attitude towards money symbolized Kofi's detachment from the reality of the struggling farmers he was supposed to represent. Kofi's reign of corruption lasted over a decade. However, an unexpected change of government brought his misdeeds to light. Immediately after his political patrons were removed from office, Kofi was investigated and arrested. Soon, all his ill-gotten properties were seized. His luxurious lifestyle crumbled, and his hidden sins were exposed. Some of Kofi's children, who he had sent overseas and was funding from poor farmers' funds, faced their own downfalls. His oldest son, unable to cope with the harsh reality of life as an ordinary foreign student in America after daddy could no longer sponsor him, became an alcoholic and ended up homeless. It turned out that Kofi's oldest daughter, who he had enrolled in a private college in Europe and had been sending significant sums of money to regularly for years, had also long dropped out of college. She had been deceiving Kofi for years about her status and had in fact been using him to fund a hedonist lifestyle with her dependent playboy boyfriend. Kofi's final days were a stark contrast to his years of affluence. Stripped of his wealth and with none of his children able to support him, he died in penury, a man who had risen from poverty only to succumb to his own greed. Except for his first wife, gone were all the glamorous women and fair-weather friends he was always surrounded by in his heydays. The man who was too proud to pick up the largest banknotes when they fall to the floor from his pockets could not afford to buy anything himself. He died penniless and heartbroken. Kofi Donzo's story is a poignant reminder of how power can corrupt and how the consequences of greed can devastate not just an individual, but an entire family. His legacy serves as a cautionary tale about the importance of integrity and the cost of corruption. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the life of Kofi Donzo. Remember, true leadership and success are measured by the positive impact we have on others, not by the wealth we accumulate for ourselves. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more African stories inspired by true events.